Okay, part 3. Remember to put my face on it this time, and in this video let's go back and take a look at where we were at the end of the last one. So we managed to get our data into a daily total rather than a cumulative total, which looks a bit better. And we want to sort this mess out down at the bottom here. So what are we going to do there? Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my date series from my my data frame, and I'm going to convert all of those strings into actual NumPy date times, okay, or dates, which will let me manipulate them a bit more with matplotlib. So I'm just going to create a new list in Python. I'm going to do this, right? So I'm going to call the pandas to date time function, and I'm going to call that. Okay, bear with me a second. So I'm going to do it using a list comprehension. So it's going to format it like this. So that's the year, the month, and the day. Close that up and use the date function as well. Just make sure it's a date, not a date time. I don't really care about the time. There is no time, right? I'm just going to come down here a bit and start again here a sec. I'm going to do that for dates in PD date range. So I'm going to call a date range here based on the first and the last rows in my subset. I remember we're looking at the China data set at the moment, so I'm going to call df. Best way to do this: call that date. Make it to list. I'm just going to call the first value in that list, and then my next range is going to be df dates. Again, to list. And I'm going to call the last value in that list, okay? I'm going to also specify the frequency with which I want sort of the range over, and that's every day. I use a capital D for that. And I'm going to just take that down there as well. Oh. Right, and if I run this, fingers crossed. Okay, and if I type the word dates here now, I basically get a list of date time dates from the last date, which is the 4th of April, in the data set, to it was the 22nd of Jan when I started actually updating this data set here. So what I can do now, let me just get rid of this a second. How do I use that? Well, when I plot my data now, if I do another plot, let's be lazy, let's cut and paste, right? Rid of this. If I create a new plot, and instead of using I could take this dates column I've just generated and update my data frame, but I'm going to be really lazy. I'm just going to use the word dates in there. So instead of using the existing date column in my pandas data frame, I'm going to use this new list I've just created. So if I shift and enter that. Okay, so because these are date time now, matplotlib is trying to make a few decisions on its own about the best way to position your tick labels here. So it's had a go. It's still not great. The frequency of them is less, which means they're not bunched up all over each other. But it still doesn't look great here. So I think what I'd like to do here is I'm going to use a package within matplotlib called matplotlib dates. So what I'm going to do, let me just import that. Mdates. And what that's going to let me do, it's actually going to let me locate the start of the month, right? And just use the start of the month as a data ticker. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to call my axis, and I'm going to specify the x-axis, and I want to set my major locators. I'm going to use this mdates function here now, okay? Month locator with an interval. Not sure I need to use the parameter, but I think it's default to 1, but I'm just going to put this. So it's basically going to look for the start of every single month. If I run that, there you go. So I've got, that's February 2020, March, and then April, okay? Now that's okay, that's fantastic. I've cleaned that up really well, but I want it to look like this, Feb, March, April, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename those tick labels. So to do that, I'm going to use X, I'm going to set X tick labels, there you go. And I can just put a list in here. So I know there's only 3 now, so I'm going to call it Feb, March, and April. There you go. I'm going to run that. And there you go. That looks a lot better. Right, so that solved the problem. I'm going to call it a day there. Let's keep these things short. Just remember, let me put this back up for you. If you're not busy at 5 o'clock on a Monday, come and join us on YouTube. And me and Sam are going to help you get started with Python. If you're still new to this, you still need an introduction, we're going to start some really basic challenges and problems and just go through them line by line. It'll be fun, and we won't be on for more than an hour, but yeah, do come and join us. It'd be great to see you. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.